Ma sequoia, babalicia, man, babachu, man, man, chiku, man. It's your boy Anubis can't be stopped, and I'm back again with another Division 2 Descent video. And today I am going to go in on the fact that I have defeated the Nemesis multiple times playing Wrath. That is the best in the game that the game has to offer. It feels good. It feels right. You can get to the Nemesis within 4 loops, sometimes 5 if you take a couple of hard rooms or any boss rooms. But at the same time, because of Raft's unique loot pool, it allows you to build a build that is conducive to what they were looking for this game mode. And then after you defeat the Nemesis, you'll have a chance to go ahead and use your turret, your drone, seeker mines, explosive stickies, fire starter, chem launchers. You'll be able to stack not only just weapon talents but skill tiers as well, and you can make some amazing nasty builds. You don't have to just I took the 1 2 3 stack. I kept going weapon damage, armor, skill tier, weapon damage, armor, skill tier. I got up to loop 8. It was an amazing run. It was late at night. I was tired. I got overzealous and got murdered, which is the reason why I feel like there should be a place where after you beat the Nemesis, you can have the opportunity to save your point. At that point, you can pick up from where you left off. There's only 100 loops that you can do for Descent. They said it caps at 100, right? I'm not sure they know that would take literally a day to do, because especially with the enemies progressively getting stronger, you're progressively getting stronger, but you're always going to be stronger than the enemies you face. That is an awesome thing to see, but at the same time, even though you are much stronger than the enemies you face, there is still going to be a problem with the whole mechanic of the enemies are going to get stronger. They're still going to hit harder than you can. But nonetheless, I found the perfect strategy for the Nemesis. The perfect talents for the Nemesis, there are 2 of them. One time I beat the Nemesis, I only had 1 exotic talent. The other time I beat the Nemesis, I had 2 exotic talents. I beat them like 2 or 3 times today with these talents, and I couldn't believe what I came up with. It's just like this game mode can really be monstrous if the devs would make Bullet Hell, Plague of the Outcast, a standard exotic talent that can drop in every loot pool, because the game mode is not conducive for the other exotic talents until you have those 2. Those 2 stacked together make your builds monstrous. You can build around that. Like, you can build a skill build around it. You can build a weapon damage build around it. You can build a bunch of different builds around it. Now, I will tell you this. There are 2 ways to actually utilize those talents. Bullet Hell, you use that in tandem with Eyeless for your utility. These are the utilities I say get. Eyeless. After Eyeless, Trauma. After Trauma, Optimize. And then after you get those talents, now you can start building other talents. I would say go salvage, vindictive, and maybe for the sixth talent, it could be a toss-up between overpowered and destructive. Okay, that is a toss-up. It just really depends on how you want to run, you know. Now, after you, those are your utilities that I want you to definitely have. Trauma being number one, eyeless be number two, because after you get so many kills, you get blind from eyeless on the next person that you hit. Say for instance, you already activated your trauma. Now you can go ahead and use eyeless. Booyah, you're back in the blind business. Okay, now, moving on from there. Now, after that, we're gonna go into defensive talents. There are two, only two, that you definitely must have. Clutch and also preservation. Clutch and preservation are key and paramount. If you want, you can also start to stack efficient, because you have a chance for your not to consume an armor kit, which can save your behind. Okay, now let's go into damage talents that you must have. Surgical for critical hit chance, critical for critical hit damage. Now the other ones are interchangeable, but the two you must have, critical and surgical, must have them, because that critical hit damage, it is a monster in the game. We all know crit hit damage and crit hit chance are king no matter what. Even on damage to armor builds, if you could get 60% chance and 60% and 100 whatever damage, you are literally god tier in PvE and PvP. Because I run all reds in PvP and people think I'm crazy for running glass cannon, but when you take those angles and those corners and things like that, and a team doesn't push the correct way, you catch people off guard with that glass cannon and that vigilance. It's a monster. It will rip you apart. I fell victim to it myself. I thought I was gonna go in there, I was gonna strafe my way through glass cannon. Nah, you really ain't strafing through that too tough. And there's multiple ways of running that. So, critical, surgical, must-haves, definitely, hands down. Now, another one, unhinged, is a monstrous talent. It is a total cluster F with stability and accuracy if you do not have optimized. And also you can stack steady-handed in this loot pool. So optimize and steady-handed, you will turn your whacked out, stacked up, unhinged into a laser beam of death. Unhinged is a monstrous talent, because for what it takes away from stability and accuracy, it literally gives that to you in damage, weapon damage, and it's monstrous, especially. And remember, what stacks with weapon damage? The plague of the outcast. We'll get into the exotic talents in a minute. This is the reason why I'm giving you this one. All right, another one, which is a toss-up. These two are a toss-up. Pummel and precise. If you're planning on camping the door and hitting all headshots immediately, go precise. If you're planning on mowing them down and you're gonna hit a lot of body shots to mow them down, go pummel, because pummel's gonna give you damage over a few seconds just for activating it after 2 kills. Booyah, you got more damage. Now, let's see what else we're gonna talk about. All right. I didn't see Optimus in this one. There's no Optimus. What was the other one? There was another talent that I had. What was that talent I had? Allegro. That's the one. Allegro. See, that's me. That. See, I had Allegro. Oh, vigilance. Absolutely must have. Vigilance is a must have. And if you look, I had unhinged, pummel, precise, Allegro, surgical, and vigilance. Most of the time I have critical in there somewhere. That's why I said precise and critical are interchangeable, you know. So I don't want you to have your mind set on I'm gonna only run this and I'm gonna run that and this is it. This is all the end all be all. No, it is not the end all be all. I'm gonna tell you like this. You got some amazing stuff that can happen in this game with these stacks stacked up, especially in this game mode. I'm going to get to the end of this video and I'm going to tell you my suggestions for the actual run of Descent. When to run Descent and when to just let it be. Okay? Because until the devs make some changes to Descent that make people want to play the game mode as much as they do during Raft, they're not going to get what they want out of this game mode. And I want them to do that. So like and share this video, because the more information that the devs have for this, they can make changes. Now, going into exotic talents, I like the fact that there's only 3 exotic talents that you can have, because it makes you build around them. Now, some people don't like the fact that you can only have 3 exotic talents as you move along. I get that, but trust me and believe me, the 3 exotic talents are enough if you stack them correctly. Now, you can stack these talents to have utility, damage, and survivability with 3 talents. The first one out of the gate that you're looking for, no matter what you do, you want bullet hell, period. That would be the Bullet King's main talent. The Bullet King's main talent is, I think it's unlimited perpetuation or infinity or perpetuation, whatever you want to call it. Bullet hell. You do not have to reload your weapon. None of them. Your sidearm, any of them. You can use your weapons to your heart content. You can fire off rounds after round after round with no reload. That will save your life in sticky situations. And I mean sticky. We know how those foamers are. Sticky situations, like I said. Now, after that, after those sticky situations, I would like you to, after you get the bullet hell, there are 2 talents that you can stack with this right off the bat, and you're going to be damn near invincible. 1, Plagued Outcast. That is number 1 talent on the secondary talent that you should get. If you don't have bullet hell first, this is your next pick. Period. Point blank. Plagued Outcast, because it stacks with weapon damage. If you shoot someone with a sniper rifle, they're going to die. It doesn't matter what they do. They can duck behind cover. They're going to die because of the Plagued Outcast. It instantly stacks. As soon as that bullet hits them, the stack comes in, and it starts damaging them right off the rip. Now, you know how Plagued Outcast works. So, Plagued Outcast applies a debuff over time, enhancing your weapon damage into overtime ticks. Those overtime ticks will kill everything within a certain few meters as they die. So, say for instance, You kill an NPC behind a wall and there's another NPC there. Those ticks transfer from that NPC to the next NPC, so forth and so forth. There you go. Plague of the Outcast. Bullet Hell and Plague of the Outcast on ARs and rifles is nasty in this game mode. It will make you literally top tier right off the bat. That's the reason why when Plague of the Outcast and Bullet Hell are not there, your people's descent runs are horrible. Horrible. Now, some people are going to say, well, you can stay in the cover and things of that nature. You don't have to move around the room and stuff like that. But that's not the purpose of this game mode. It is not. If that was the purpose of this game mode, then we could go ahead and say, chalk that up to another lost cause, you know? But that is not the purpose of this game mode. The purpose of this game mode is to become as strong as possible and complete as many loops as possible. That means becoming overpowered. Now, as you become overpowered, there you go. You got all this damage and you got all these stacks and things of that nature working in your favor to give you more weapon damage and things like that. Booyah. Now, let's go ahead and go into something else. The last component to this is one of two skills, or I should say one of two exotic talents: Bloodsucker or Dr. Holmes. Dr. Holmes will drop you armor kits that will repair your armor over time as you get kills and as you stack them. So if you decide to stack them all the way up and then you get kills and things of that nature, you are pretty much healing and killing. And if you have preservation on your side too, and if you purchase the armor on kill from the descent vendor, all the better. And don't forget to purchase health on kill, because you don't have health on kill. You have armor on kill, but that health on kill can save you a little bit more than the armor on kill. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. So, now Bloodsucker, you're going to get bonus armor for every kill that you get, and it's going to stack up. Now, if you were using Bloodsucker, Intimidate, then Intimidate would be a good use for descent, but being that you have to proc that with adrenaline rush and things of that nature, then you have a whole nother dynamic that you have to go through to get that bonus armor, to get that type of damage, and you have to be within a certain range. The Dr. Holmes eliminates that certain range, you know, and Plague of the Outcast and Bullet Hell eliminate certain ranges, so it makes it even more better for you to survive in descent and get those really, really high loops. I'm not going to make an excuse me being tired yesterday and being overzealous after beating the Nemesis last night. It happened, you know, but it is what it is. You can't go wrong sometimes when you do certain things. And I don't like to show my wins all the time and just show you, oh yeah, I beat the Nemesis, yeah, I've lost. I put up my losses. I'm not gonna duck them, because that's how you become unstoppable. Anubis can't be stopped. There is a square button. I'm just saying, there is another square button. I can come back and do this, rinse and repeat until I figure out what works. Now, going into this, you have, I do believe it's called greed, lust, gluttony, and wrath. I think it's split into 4. All the rest of them, I feel, are completely trash. I repeat, I feel all the rest of them are completely trash. Wrath is number one in my book as far as loop pools go for descent. Every single other one is absolute garbage because there is no real huge benefit that you're getting out of descent other than the reconstructive caches, which can help you out, and being that that's the only thing we have to look forward to is the reconstructive caches and the descent uniforms, because I gotta have all my swag. I gotta live my life swag surfing. It's Anubis. I gotta look good. How bad would it be to go into conflict and whoop your ass with a 1, 2, 3, 4 build of just descent uniforms? Put on my Oni mask on my descent uniform and have a blast at it. So if I were you and I wanted to get as many reconstructive caches that I possibly can get, it's going to probably take you 30 minutes each run. So you probably can get maybe 4 a day. So that's 2 hours of your time, 4 a day over 3 days. So by the next time when raft comes up again, you'll be able to do it. You'll be able to get 4 more. And you just keep going until you get all the reconstructed caches. Not to mention you're going to be making descent tokens at the time. Now, if you want to be that person to try to get to the high loops, get you a partner like I got, like me and Slickback 2022. We are always in descent together, rumbling against the Nemesis. And I'm telling you, when we're rumbling against the Nemesis, we're going in super hard, super quick, super fast, and we're trying to mow down the first one before the second one comes up. We are trying to annihilate the Nemesis as possible and get onto those higher loops. Now, what I feel like is descent is better in 2s and not 4s. 4s are okay, but 2s are better. If you do one strategy, pile up on the door, make sure you're on the door and you let the door have it. Period. And point blank. You let that door have it. You light that door up with everything you all got. Boom. Turn around. If the door is behind you, turn around, take that door out next. And I kid you not, that strategy works in solo and it works in group play. If they are not going to pile up on the same door, then you all are not on the same page. And if you are not on the same page, you all do not need to run that descent run, because it's going to get frustrating when you almost get to the Nemesis and you die. Team wipe. Team needs to be tight knit and take out a door, move around the room. Take out a door, move around the room. If you're going to do the harder rooms with the 2 waves, take out the door, move around the room. Take out a door, move around the room. Just that simple. As soon as that last NPC is about to go down, say load up on the door. Boom. You have to have a mic. You have to be able to communicate. If you cannot communicate, you will not get those high loops, because you all can speed run that if you all are in sync. If you're not in sync, then it's a lost cause. And then once y'all beat the Nemesis, it's all hell. All hell can break loose. Seeker mines, fire starters, you name it. You can use it. When you go in there to face the Nemesis, have skills that you can utilize and you can actually defend against. I was lucky enough on one of my runs to actually have an explosive sticky and an explosive seeker. He used the airburst seeker and he used the explosive sticky. and he tried to get me with those. And I'm telling you, Plague of the Outcast, Bullet Hell got me through it. Okay? With that explosive stick, with that seeker mine. I threw the seeker mine on him. Boom! He had to run. Come out of cover. Now he's running. Get that back. You know? Same thing you do in PvP is the same thing you do in PvE, but a little bit harder. Okay? Now, that I've said that, raft is the best one, period and hands down. What I will say to the devs, and hear me clearly, if you put Bullet Hell and Plague of the Outcast as standards in all of the loot pools for Descent exotic talents, that everyone has a chance to either get one of those two talents, they will start utilizing the other talents as well. They will utilize disrupt bullets. They will utilize they will utilize disruption. They'll utilize breathe free. They'll utilize glass cannon. They'll utilize all of these things in that game mode if you just listen and hear us clearly. Put Bullet Hell, Plague of the Outcast as standard like you did with Dr. Holmes. You cannot go through a Descent without seeing the Dr. Holmes talent. Keep Bullet Hell and Plague of the Outcast as standard talents that can drop from every single loot pool for exotics. Boom. You have just upped people's playability of this game mode, because now we can go back in the game mode, get exotic caches, keep fighting the Nemesis multiple times, which fighting the Nemesis actually helps you in PvP. It gives you the opportunity to figure out angles and things of that nature with sniper rifles and things like that. You can play with talents. I have a crazy PvP build coming. I have a crazy PvE build coming based off the talents that I read inside of Descent. So now I done talked your ear off for about a half an hour, and I told the devs what I feel. Do not play Descent until raft comes up. If you want no headache, do not play Descent until raft comes up, and you will be fine. But if you decide to play Descent without it being raft, you are counterproductive at this point. It's too much time. It's too much frustration playing this game mode without the necessary talents or the necessary power to get through the game mode, to get those high loops. They want us to get to those high loops. They have to give us some give. This is your boy Anubis Can't Be Stopped. I'm back again. I love and appreciate each and every one of you that liked and subscribed to all my videos in the past. Don't forget, we got that huge update that's coming out where we're gonna have that summer event. So I might be covering some summer event stuff here and there. I'm not gonna promise that I'm gonna do it because, you know, I work during the week and I don't get a chance to put out as much footage as I want. But I will have what I did find from those daily or weekly rewards that we're gonna get. It's gonna be something like the winter event. I wonder if we're gonna get a special piece of gear like we got with the with that backpack we got from the winter event, but we'll see. Now, as always, hitting that like on that algorithm helps the algorithm, and hitting subscribe helps me out and sees that you all like my content, and I'm gonna put out more of it. I'm gonna have other games that I'm gonna cover. I'm not gonna just cover the Division 2. I'm gonna be covering other games as well. So if there's other games that you would like to see covered on this channel, you can also inbox me or hit me up and I'll let you know. I'm gonna do some stuff on the First Descendant because I actually played it a little bit and I actually kind of dig how it plays, and we'll see what goes on from there. But that's neither here nor there. It's been a pleasure talking to you all, and I can't wait until I make the next video. Have a good one. Stay frosty out there, agents, and I'll see you in the next one.
Nemesis detected. System malfunctioning. System reactivated. Serious trauma detected. Hostile. Simulation terminated. Collect and gather.